So, what if I told you there's a philosophy, almost 800 years old, from ancient Anatolia that might just hold the key to a more fulfilling, more ethical, and, well, just a better professional life? Today, we are unlocking the secrets of what's known as the Ahi Code. But before we dive into that, let's talk about a feeling that's probably pretty familiar to a lot of us. You know, in our crazy, fast-paced world, it really does feel like something important has been lost in the way we approach our work. I mean, does this hit home for you? That nagging feeling, that real, deep mentorship, the kind that builds true expertise, and that an absolute commitment to quality, that they've both been pushed aside for speed and scale. Yeah, you are definitely not alone in thinking that. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. What if I told you that a system was created centuries ago with the specific goal of building a professional culture based on mastery, on ethics, and on community? A system designed from the ground up to prevent the exact problems we're struggling with today. Okay, let's get into it. We're talking about the Ahilik. And this was so much more than just a simple trade guild or a union. You can think of it as a complete blueprint for how to achieve both professional and ethical excellence. The name Ahi actually comes from the Arabic word Aki, which means my brother. And that name, well, it tells you almost everything you need to know. It was founded by a preacher and leather craftsman named Ahi Evran, and this was never just about business. It was a holistic system that wove commerce together with character. The goal wasn't just to create better craftsmen, it was to build a better society. And to really get a sense of their impact, you just have to look at their history. In the 13th century, Ahi Evran starts organizing artisans. But get this, by around 1290, they were so powerful and respected, they actually established what was basically a self-governing republic in Ankara, led by the fraternity itself. And even after they were absorbed by the Ottoman Empire in 1362, their principles didn't die out. They just evolved into the famous guild system. Now, this system was the opposite of a free-for-all. There was a very clear, very deliberate path to becoming a master. First, you started as a yit, which is a candidate. You had to prove your character was worthy. Then, you became a Çırak, an apprentice, and your formal training began. After that, you'd become a kalfa, or journeyman, honing and perfecting your skills. And only then could you finally earn the title of Usta, a true master of your craft and a respected leader in your community. So that's the structure. But what did it actually mean for the individual? What did that journey from a hopeful candidate to a respected master actually look and feel like for someone inside the system? Well, pretty much everything hinged on the relationship between the master and the apprentice, the Usta-Çırak. A master wasn't just a boss or someone who taught you technical skills. No, they were a full-on mentor, responsible for the apprentice's entire moral and ethical development. The goal was to shape a good person, not just a good worker. It was truly a forge for character. And the ethical code, it was absolutely non-negotiable. To call yourself an Ahi meant you lived by this incredibly strict moral standard. Things like generosity, modesty, and truthfulness, these weren't just nice-to-haves. They were the absolute bedrock requirements of your profession. Your personal integrity was literally the price of admission. And joining this brotherhood was a very serious commitment. It all culminated in a formal ceremony called the Shade Kuşanma. This is where a candidate would stand up and take a public oath, formally binding themselves to the community's shared values of loyalty and ethics. You see, this wasn't just about starting a new job, it was about embracing a true vocation. All right, so we've seen how the Ahi Code shaped the individual. But what happens when you bring all these individuals together? Let's scale up and see how these principles created organizations that had a powerful ethical foundation. You might even say they had a soul. An Ahi workshop was so much more than just a place to make and sell things. I mean, yes, it was a business, but at the same time, it was a school for apprentices, it was a center for ethical education, and it was a hub for the whole community, all built on these principles of brotherhood and generosity known as Fütüvvet. And when you put the Ahi organization right next to a lot of modern corporate models, wow, you see this fundamental clash in values. The Ahi system prioritized quality and ethics over short-term profit and speed. Its culture was built on mentorship and community, not just disruption and scale. And the ultimate goal? It was sustainable mastery that creates lasting value, not just rapid growth that often leads to burnout. And you better believe this wasn't just talk. This system had real teeth. If a member produced shoddy, low-quality goods or tried to cheat their customers, the consequences were severe. We're talking expulsion from the Brotherhood and being ostracized by the whole community. You can think of it as the ultimate form of brand protection. Accountability wasn't just a policy, it was the absolute bedrock of consumer trust. And in what was a really progressive move for the 13th century, this system was also inclusive. Ahi Evran's wife, a woman named Fatma Bacı, founded a parallel organization called the Bacıyan-ı Rum, or the Anatolian Sisterhood. This made sure that women also had an active, organized role in business and in society.
Okay, so this is all a really fascinating piece of history, right? But what does it all mean for us, right here, right now? Let's bring this all back to the present day and see how we can actually apply these ancient principles to our modern work lives.
The lessons here are incredibly clear and really actionable. For us as individuals, it's a call to actively go out and seek true mentorship. It's about committing to that long, sometimes difficult path of mastering our craft, and it's about building our entire professional lives on a foundation of absolute integrity. And for companies, it's a challenge to foster a genuine culture of learning, to establish an ethical code that actually has consequences, and to make the brave choice to prioritize long-term quality over those fleeting short-term gains.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Maybe it's a deeper commitment to the quality of your work, or maybe it's about finding a real mentor, or being one, or maybe it's just about acting with a little more integrity in everything you do. What one Ahi principle could you bring with you to your work tomorrow?